All right, David, I'm going to go to you first on this. I know you have a lot of insight into the region. So what do you think this is all about? Is this what Lucas just said? Is this a bigger power play here? Is this about regime change? Or is this just about protecting the United States from the narco-terrorists? Or is it all of those things in just one giant offering?
It's all of those things and more. And you have to go back to 1983, for example, which was the invasion of Grenada to stop the Cubans and the Soviet regime from taking over there. That happens to be the next island over. Trinidad and Tobago, 7 miles off Venezuela's coast, which is why Her Excellency, the President Kangaloo, is allowing our ships to be there. They want the protection. This has been going on since the 60s, actually, and you follow obviously the Bay of Pigs, which failed with Bolivia. We have been fighting the spread of communism in that area for a long time, and the Caribbean is at risk because by the time you get to Cuba, you go through all those islands in that archipelago of islands. More than that, it's the human crisis that's underway. You have Russia, you have Iran, who's also there, the Hezbollah fighters. The estimates vary. You have China, you have ghost flights from Iran, which are still ongoing according to credible intelligence sources. So you're talking about an ongoing effort to place a disruptive force for Latin America, not just for the U.S. And then you have starvation. If you get outside of Caracas and you go to what was kind of normally, kind of a Latin American country with farms and families and industry with wealth and resources, not just in oil, that's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the destruction of an island under, they call it socialist economy. That's the last stage before communism. Marx and Engels were right. This is what's going on there. And we also are leaving China and Russia in place, which is dangerous for our interests. So there's a geopolitical, there's a Latin American component to this, and there's a Caribbean. We often don't talk about the Caribbean. The fact is that is a pathway that is easy to traverse all the way to the Bahamas, which is about, 50 miles or so off our coast.
Right. Well, Jason, what David is saying is this is much bigger than just taking out the narco-terrorists. But for a long time, the administration has said this is about taking out the narco-terrorists. Right. Don't get in a boat. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said it to us when we were at the Patriot Awards. We were happy to hear it. But this feels a lot bigger than that, and it feels like bigger moves are being made. There are some members of Congress, though, probably some of your former colleagues, who are crowing on about not liking all of this. They don't want intervention in this region. They believe that they need to have some say-so in this. So as the former congressman, do you think Congress needs more of a say here?
I think they're doing it just about right. I think if you believe in America first and you are following Donald Trump and his lead on this issue, he doesn't want to start wars, but he is going to protect the United States of America. I think what we're going to see is that the intelligence will show us it was far more than just drugs or just fentanyl. I think you're going to see a much more concerted effort there and a massive admission from Senator Warner, a serious player in the United States Senate, the Democrats' lead person on the Intelligence Committee. He was saying this was totally blown, a huge mistake by Joe Biden and his team. The reason we're having to deal this, and look at another issue that Donald Trump's having to clean this up, is because of the incompetence, according to Senator Warner, by the Biden-Harris administration, who totally blew this again.
Yeah, and just add it to the list.
Yeah.
Well, Kayleigh, I want to talk to you, too, about the leaflets. I think that's an interesting perspective to have on all of this, dropping some leaflets. And, we've heard some rumblings that this is not about regime change, but we know that the president, he's taken a look at Maduro and seeing what he can do in the region. And I think that the headline about possibly dropping the leaflets in Caracas, that's an interesting element.
It is, and he's ramping up the pressure, and you know how it's working. We know it's working because Maduro was out there singing Imagine by John Lennon the other day. So that's when you know things are getting really bad. But I think that the Trump administration is rightly viewing this as we need to get our own hemisphere in order here. And one of the points that David mentioned that I think is really important is that Russia and China do use Venezuela as a proxy for influence in our hemisphere. Venezuela is financially backed by China. Many of its military elements are backed by Russia directly. As long as there is that sphere of influence so close to our homeland, that is going to be a threat to our national sovereignty. The Trump administration recognizes that, and unlike the past several Democratic administrations, is actually doing something about taking it seriously.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.